people who've actually slept with their step-sibling or sibling. How did it happen and how was your relationship affected? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will sleep in a trailer. I had a friend in high school that dated this girl for like 6 months before their parents decided to randomly get married. They, the parents, only dated for like a month. A few months later he is trying to set me up with his sister and bragging that she gives good head. It was very weird. Sounds like the parents planned it all for it and giggles. My parents are actually step-siblings. They began dating when they were teenagers and when their parents met they fell in love and got married, making my mum and dad step-siblings. They ended up moving in together since they were both still living with their parents and my grandparents just let them share a room. It's always been a joke in our family that my mum is my aunt, my dad is my uncle, and my brothers are my cousins. Sounds like the plot to Riverdale. This is an in real life storyline on the original Teen Mum series I believe. Not me, but my close family. My grandmother had 3 husbands, 4 children with all different dads. My mother's dad was sexually abusive and had been sleeping with my aunt, mom's older sister. They continued that relationship for years. My grandma divorced him and he married my aunt. So my aunt was also step-grandma and my mother's dad was also uncle. When he finally died I remember my mother saying I don't want to go to his funeral, but I really think I should be there to support my stepmom. That woman has always had a warped sense of humor. I love it. What did I just read? Sweet Home Alabama. Close. We're in Georgia. My mother's dad was also uncle. So a real uncle grandpa? Was there a realistic flying tiger, too? Dad dated a woman. He dated a lot of women so it became normal. She had a daughter. We got drunk at a party. Hooked up. Real boy meets world it. Then they got married. And that's when we cut it out. Then they got divorced. And I'm still not boning her anymore. Was this like the Slavic version of Boy Meets World or? Slavs have the best butts. It's all that squatting that does it. What's funny is that I'm Slav and was in Nepal a couple years ago on a hike in the Himalayas. And they told us to occasionally expect toilets where you have to squat. And I've never done that before. And we're all saying stuff like, oh man, I hope we get the normal toilets. Turns out the next batch of toilets were all squatters. My friend goes in there, no end to his complaints. I go in there, it's super easy, it's like I was born to squat. Then I remembered that I'm a freaking Slav. My ancestors had been preparing me for this moment for centuries. Mum dated a guy. Guy had a son same age as me. We hated our parents and slept together. Had a fun time. Broke up due to him using drugs and me not dealing with it. Both are married, to other people, and happy. We don't talk even though we see each other at family gatherings after our parents got married. We don't talk. Ever. That's a very suspicious way to end a story. Ask me after quarantine. Hey stepbrother, wanna come play in my toilet paper castle? Help stepbrother, I am somehow stuck in this castle I built. No, don't look at my panties you perv. Stepbrother, I got tangled in all this toilet paper. I need help taking it off. What are you doing? Stepbrother. Ah yes, only a short few days into quarantines and we have already arrived here. It's a welcome change from making me feel like I'm either going to die or end up homeless in a month. Now you'll be bringing a new baby into the world in 9 months. Nephew son for the win. Just make your parents raise it, no child support. Nefson. Slept with my former sister-in-law. Is that close enough? How'd it happen? She hated my ex-wife, her sister. My ex-wife cheated on me. We were drinking together about 6 months after it ended and she said you should frick me to get even. Relationship didn't at all change. We just know each other a little better than we used to. Both dating others now and it's like it never happened. Straight and to the point. Sounds like a keeper. Oh, we weren't even that drunk either. A spite lay, while not my favorite, is definitely top 5. How would you rate it in Star Wars episodes? The only relevant scale. Personally my ex was episode 7. Promising to start. but followed by disappointment. I'm late to this, but here's my story that I had posted on the Tifford guy's post. Dude banged his cousin. This was in reply to a comment, well at least she wins at East breakup story. My wife fricked her brother in my bed when I went upstairs to sleep. We had company over and they were a bit loud. And my bed is on the first floor where they all were, so I decided to go upstairs cause it would be quieter. Woke up about 2-3 hours later and went downstairs to grab water and rejoin my wife, but she already had company. I'm pretty sure I win at S breakup story. You should see a therapist to help you through the emotional trauma of this if you can. Apparently this is not unheard of in cases where people meet up after closed adoptions. They feel this connection, but don't have a healthy way to express it. I've already started pre-gaming, so if people could start sharing stories before I run out of lube, that would be nice. How's your TP supply? He's jerking to incest. You know he just eats it. And that's enough Reddit. Yep. Good night bro. No serious tag. That's the best part. It's okay as the answers are only kind of related. Frick you and this upvote. My dad's brother married my mom's sister. My parents somehow didn't really meet until several months after the wedding. My cousins and I are as close to incest as it gets without actually crossing blood relatives. Just for fun, my siblings have a different dad than me, so I actually look more related to those cousins than I do my own siblings. I just try to not explain that to people, but it definitely is weird when it gets out. My wife's family did the same thing. 2 brothers married 2 sisters. It sounds really funky until you stop and think about it. I've heard of identical twins doing this. Fun fact. If identical twins get together with identical twins and both couples have kids, those kids, technically cousins, would biologically be siblings. My father had a relationship before he met my mom. 2 children, 1 male 1 female. Father met my mom later on and had 2 kids, boys, me and bro. So that gives me and bro plus 1/2 bro and 1/2 sis. Well, mom is one of 3 identical triplets. Her sister, aunt triplet, goes on and has a couple of her own, who become my cousins. We're all sitting around drinking at a barbecue one day and it occurs to me that my so-called cousins are just as genetically related to me as my half-siblings are. Try explaining that to a group of drunks. Just joined Reddit and one of the first things I've seen is this. Whoa, holy it, I haven't been on the site for more than 2 days, but here I am. Thanks for the charm and silver things. Welcome to the party. A warm welcome. A warm, gooey welcome. I slept with my stepsister. She came in town for visit her dad, and when I went outside to help bring luggage and she gave me the frick me eyes as soon as she saw me, and instantly I knew I was in trouble. For a week and a half I kept being polite and trying to remain distant, because I had been warned by my stepdad and her brothers to not even look in her direction, not bring any friends over, not do anything wrong, and I had absolutely no intention of doing so. But it was the first time I had ever had anyone want me that badly, and I gave in, and we secretly got together for the remainder of the month she spent in town. We were both young and dumb and fell in love, and thought we hid it well, but when they found out after she left I got my ass beat. For a few years they wouldn't let her visit and we kept in touch. Then after college I moved to where she lived, and we have been together ever since. 11 years now, and we have a 5-year-old daughter and 3-year-old son. Everyone is completely fine with it now and we make jokes about it all the time. You really persevered. I think she was the one who did most of the persevering, but it is needed for being in any relationship for that length of time, I think. It was weird, she just kept bending over a lot and saying step brother and asking me to help her with really easy stuff. Then I swear I blinked and she was bouncing on my cock yelling this is wrong, but I love it. Did she end up finding the water? If people found out you slept with your step sibling you would get some stares. These puns are off the rails funny. Do half sisters count? It was the bottom half, if that makes a difference. Doesn't count, sorry. I lost my virginity to my third cousin by blood. Had no idea we were related until 6 months into the relationship. Open to questions though, but that's about the closest I can get to what OP asked. I hate that itch now though. You caught my eye. Why do you hate her now? How did you find out you were related? To the first question, I just finished responding to another comment, so sorry I missed this. We found out we were related at the 4th of July celebration when she mentioned that she had family with the same last name as me who lived in the same state as some of my family. My dad and her grandmother got to talking and realized that they know some of the same people. My dad then ended up pulling out a family tree, and they traced it up to a common relative that he shared with her grandmother. So basically, her mum and my dad were second cousins by blood and she and I were third cousins by blood. We only actually had intercourse after we found out, lol. So we just gonna ignore that he said after? I was waiting for him to tell me why he hates her now. But I am curious what led to the trip to Pound Town. Maybe grandma died and he decided to bury something else at the funeral. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will sleep in a trailer.